welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Kiddin the Kitten, and with me are my two favourite kittens, Arnold and Kamden Spies. Say hi!
Hi.
Meow.
Meow.
It's like, sorry, I was like, meow. Oh, jeez, that's funny. That's really good. Alright, so just a few bits of info to get out of the way. So as mentioned, this is Kiddin the Kitten, released on the 5th of April 1952. It had a blue ribbon reissue sometime in 1961. It's the 646th in the series, and it's directed by Bob McKimson.
Yay!
Yay! We can find this on the Looney Tunes Golden Collection Volume 4 DVD set. There was a HD version lurking around. Hopefully it'll make its way on physical media at some point. But hey, the DVD version is perfectly fine. In case you haven't seen this one, can't show you the full thing here on YouTube due to copyright and all that jazz. But we see Doddsworth, who is a fat and lazy cat who is ordered by his owner to catch mice. But of course, he's fat and lazy, so he doesn't do it himself. So he ends up pretending to be a professor and tries to get a kitten to do it for him.
And when you catch a mouse, just give 2 tugs on the line, and I will haul you in.
Who ends up being actually quite good at it. So there you go.
Fat, lazy cat. Moaner doesn't want to catch mice. Just sits and eats all day. Huh. I wonder if Jim Davis learned something.
So a few bits of trivia there is one major one, but I'll leave that to last. So just a few short bits first. As per the animated draft, this short was originally called Little Kitty Cat. And I gotta say, I prefer Kiddin the Kitten much better, but let me know in the comments which one you prefer. But yeah, I definitely think it was good that they changed that. And we see the Acme School of Mice catching, approved by the Good Mousekeeping magazine. So with Good Mousekeeping magazine, that's the parody of Good Housekeeping magazine. I'm actually not sure if they're still around. Are they still around in the US?
I believe so.
And this is the first of 2 shorts starring this Sylvester-looking obese cat named Doddsworth, and of course the kitten, and the other short is A Peck O' Trouble, which of course I'll get to when I get to it.
In a lot of McKimson films, he has variations on Sylvester without actually using Sylvester. Like the slimmer cat with the smaller red nose that's in early Tibet and things like that. And all of these cats seem to be nameless. Although this one's Doddsworth, but anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And the big one here, though, is the voice of Doddsworth.
The voice of Doddsworth is Sheldon Leonard. Now, Sheldon Leonard at the time was a radio comedian with Mel Blanc on The Jack Benny Show. And I have several Sheldon Leonard stories to share here that have to do with Warner Brothers cartoons. One of them is the fact that I am both friends with Noel Blanc and Bob McKimson Jr. Bob told me one time that, and this is in my interview with him on cartoonresearch.com, so a more complete version of the story is on there. In a high school reunion, Robert McKimson was at his high school reunion, and I think it was a high school reunion, it might have been college, and a lady comes up to him and says, "Oh, you work with my dad." He says, "Who is your dad?" "Sheldon Leonard." He had gone to high school with Sheldon Leonard's daughter this whole time, and he didn't know. And my other story is Noel Blanc. Mel Blanc and Sheldon Leonard were very good friends. In fact, Mel Blanc has an advertising school, which you ever really want to talk to Noel Blanc, talk about this advertising school, because he's got great stories that he still remembers. Sheldon Leonard used to teach at Mel's show, and Sheldon Leonard, of course, was on the Jack Benny Show. His bet would be like, "Hey, bud, come here." And he'd be the racetrack. He says, "What are you getting?" "A hat." "No hat?" "No. Buy the gloves," or something like that. And he would be a regular stat. He later did the television show. The other thing he was in, though, was he produced television shows, the Make Room for Daddy, Dick Van Dyke Show, Andy Griffith Show. And Noel Blanc, one of his first jobs, he was a cameraman, I think, or just a regular crew member on the very first episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show. Noel Blanc, that was one of his first jobs in show business.
Oh, wow.
He was yeah. Mark, did you know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, wow. Wasn't Sheldon also the voice of Linus the Lionheart?
Yes.
The other connection you could say about Linus the Lionheart, which, by the way, big scoop for the 5 of you who are big fans of that show and already don't know, that show is coming out on Blu-ray soon. The one other thing I want to say about Linus the Lionheart is the producer of the Dick Van Dyke Show, Carl Reiner, was another voice on Linus the Lionheart.
People who still don't know who Sheldon Leonard is, well, at least in the U.S., every holiday you see It's a Wonderful Life. And he plays the bartender Nick, and he goes, I'm making angels, and he hits the cash register bell. over and over, because every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. So that's where you'll see Sheldon Leonard guaranteed. And one other thing is, if you're a fan, or even if you're not a fan of Big Bang Theory, the two main characters, their character names, one's named Sheldon and one is named Leonard, named after Sheldon Leonard.
Oh,
Yeah.
And other shows, he did I Spy, which is a good show, even if you don't like Little Cosby anymore. And Gomer Pyle, which is a spinoff of Andy Griffith and Mayberry RFD.
So we've gone on and on about Sheldon Leonard, which was obviously important, but let's get into the short itself. I remember watching it as a kid, and I was wondering, like, why is Sylvester so fat? And this was before the cat opened his mouth. I was like, gee, what happened to Sylvester in this one? But as you mentioned, Mark, it's McKimson just did all these variations on this cat. But one thing I discussed with Devin Baxter, because I asked him, why do they make only 2 of these? Because it seemed like of late, McKimson was trying to create his own new standout character. And in 51, he did so many different barnyard or other animal characters that were like just one-off, and they never just seemed to take off. And it looks like he's continuing that here, trying to push his own character. And finally, he would succeed with Speedy Gonzales, but yeah, I think this was just another attempt by McKimson to have his own breakout character.
For McKimson's, it's more like Tasmanian Devil and Foghorn Leghorn and Hippie Hopper for his own group of characters.
But let's talk about the short itself. Of course, we'll go through it. And I love the animation of the mouse imitating the owner with the dress. I love just how these mice are just so overconfident. They're like, yeah, we got this. We got this house. We can do whatever we want. Who cares? To the point where they're not even bothered trying to hide things. But I just love the intro there. And the establishment of Doddsworth being so lazy that a mouse literally just steals a small, one of those, what is it, anchovy or sardine or something? I think it's a sardine, right from under his nose.
Who wrote this one?
Ted Pierce, yeah.
Ted Pierce was McKimson's main writer at this time after Foster and Pierce swapped units. And I do love how Doddsworth is being told off by the owner. And I like that subtle bit of animation of how he lifts up his hand and he just then sticks his tongue out so that the owner doesn't see. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
I thought that was just a fantastic little touch there. In fact, I don't know, this Doddsworth character, what do you guys think of him as a character? Do you guys think it's not the greatest character, but I don't know. I thought it was
cartoons, I forgot, before doing this cartoon, I remembered Sheldon Leonard was the cat. I forgot who the cat's name was.
I even forgot the name of the cat, even though it's written right on the side of the bed.
Yeah, I forgot who the cat was too, and I just remembered him as the Sheldon Leonard cat.
Yeah. But he is reminiscent of Life of Riley with William Bendix, the radio show, and later a movie and TV show, because he says, "What a revolting development," which is the phrase from that show. And he says that.
What a revolting development.
Do you think maybe he could have had some more potential than 2 shorts he was in?
I guess maybe the cat's not memorable because Mark and I have seen about every Warner cartoon, and neither of us remember the cat's name.
I think he's too lethargic. I guess that's not saying he's not memorable, but to be an ongoing character, pretty much after the 2 cartoons, that was it. And I don't know if they could have done more. Maybe it was Sheldon Leonard got too busy and couldn't do any more. But they could have got Mel Blanc or somebody else to do a voice, I would think, if they're trying to continue the character. But I don't think it was that dynamic of a character, because by the time the last appearance of 53, then, like I said, Tasmanian Devil was coming along, much more dynamic character.
But I mean, there were other really dynamic McKimson characters, too, that only had 1 appearance. Look at Pete Puma. Everyone remembers him.
Yeah.
Or the Weasel from the Foghorn Leghorn cartoon.
Yeah, and there are dynamic characters that only make 1 appearance. Of course, the Frog and One Froggy Evening, only 1 appearance, but everybody knows it. So.
Just like it feels like there's a lot more than 5 Tasmanian Devil shorts.
5 are the Martian shorts.
Yeah, exactly. And yet, people remember them more. But
or how many different people think they remember I Love to Sing It, but they only remember the song?
All I know is that I'll be emailing Warner's to start making some Doddsworth merchandise. I think I need a t-shirt with Doddsworth.
Warner Brothers doesn't do a lot with those characters, but when it comes to putting things on a t-shirt or a cup, they're all for it.
Yep, exactly, because what I want is a picture of Doddsworth with my favorite quote from this short, which is,
"Oh, I don't mind an honest day's work, as long as somebody else does it."
But let's look at the Kiddin character. One thing that struck me that was interesting about this design is how the Kitten's cross-eyed. I thought that was just
odd.
It was odd, but I don't know. I thought it was a cute little Kiddin, and there's not really much to this Kiddin character. It's like a comes across as a go-getter. The short actually made me feel for this kid. It's doing all this work. It's okay. It fails. But then it's, okay, I'm going to try something new. Catches the mouse.
It took you so long.
And then later on, he catches all the mouse. And then, of course, Doddsworth takes credit. You know what that reminds me of? Actual current work. When I go to the job where you got those lazy higher-ups that take all the credit.
Yeah.
So I guess this short's probably more relatable to me now as a grown-up, as a kid in that sense. But anyway, that's just...
What I want to know is how many different cartoons can we name that have to do with the cats teaching other cats how to catch mice? There's that one Tom and Jerry cartoon, Professor Tom. There's that one Pixie and Dixie cartoon, which is the exact same premise.
Or even the Chuck Jones ones with the bulldog and the little black kitty trying to teach that one how to be a mouse or things like that. So.
It's not a unique idea, but I think it suits it here, and I do like how Doddsworth is...
Very becoming, Doddsworth. You'd have made a good college professor. Too bad you never got past 3rd grade.
I do like the look of Doddsworth when he's got the whole idea. It's, okay, since you're learning, I'll attach you to this fishing rod, and then later on when he reels the kitten back, he's actually wearing his dedicated fishing hat. It's like just to drive the point home that, you know, just in case we weren't aware that he was fishing. I like the idea with the ball bearings, how this kitten is like adapting so well to the point where he's like, Swiss cheese, it's got holes in it. Let's put something in those holes, and then mice will eat the cheese and have the ball bearings so he can use the magnet. He even writes up signs that he puts around, free cheese and all that. So he's definitely a dedicated worker. But when Doddsworth is trying to take all the credit, I do like the added touch of the sped-up voice.
Like my school of mouse catching, it is my hope and belief that you will make your mark on a feline world and achieve the success you so richly deserve. Never forget your alma mater. Good luck and goodbye.
We, of course, at the end get that wonderful punchline where the kitten becomes exactly like Doddsworth. I love that. Yes. What did you guys think?
Here's the question. What did the owner do to Doddsworth?
I don't know. Probably Doddsworth now has to fend for himself.
Which implies that either Doddsworth was kicked out or died.
I'm sure he could survive on the streets for a fair while, given his girth and that.
Wearing a fat is just a coat for him.
Indeed. Okay. But great ending, though. I thought that was a great way to finish the show. It'd be a nice little punchline.
Scenes that I liked, like when the white cat is pretending with her paw or whatever to have the cheese on it, and then the cheese is removed, and then the paw finger, as it were, gets flipped out. It's like she's flipping the bird. I thought that was like... Anyway, and I love the 2 scenes where there's just all the mice eating the big cheese wheel, and where all the mice are crammed in the cage or the trap or whatever before they release them. Just all those mice.
The kitten did such a great job, but all right, let's get into scoring. As for a score, look, this one, I quite liked it. It's not the highlight. It's not my go-to shorts or the shorts up, but I like this one. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. It's solid. It's funny. And we get the wonderful voice by Sheldon Leonard, which just adds out something extra to it, I felt. And I thought he did quite well. So, yeah, 7.5. Mark, what would you rate this one?
Well, as a short itself, I'm going to give it 2 ratings. As a short itself, it's kind of average. So I was going to give it like a 6. But the fact, like you said, that as Sheldon Leonard's voice, he boosted up to a 7 just for, that alone, because I like him.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much our feeling, yeah. What about you?
I would second both of your ratings.
Beautiful. Or third.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, nah, for sure. But that will do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And until next time, take care.
You know, one of these days I'm gonna have to buy me a mousetrap.